The emotional impact of being banned from my own family gathering. For everyone's peace, do not come today. This is final. The message hit my lock screen before the kettle clicked off. I read it twice, waiting for a winking emoji. Another notification stacked on top. Removed you from family celebration. My name went gray, then disappeared. I'm Alex, 30, the one who makes slideshows, writes cards, remembers who wants the corner piece of cake. Today is my mother Helen's milestone, and my job was simple. Bring the photo board, wrangle the playlist, toast without crying. Instead, I'm banned from my own family gathering. I screenshot before my hand stopped shaking. The sender is Mara, 35, image-obsessed cousin who runs the group chat like a brand. She writes, "You know why? We can discuss after." I text back, "Why?" and watch read 7:02 a.m. sit there like frost. Theo pings me on Signal. "You okay?" He's my tech-fluent friend, allergic to melodrama. I forward the screenshots, the calendar invite I accepted months ago. He replies, "Document. Don't react. Shame is heat, procedure is ice." I open settings export chat. The zip arrives with a polite thunk. I scroll for an incident, a blow-up, a thread where I said something unforgivable. Nothing. But last night at 10:13 p.m., Mara posted a gentle reminder about tone and past disruptions, and 3 ants hearted it. Theo texts, "Check if you're on mute before the reminder message." I do. Yesterday at 4:06 p.m., Mara toggled, "Only admins can send messages." My name went quiet the minute the story started. I DM'd the venue's page. "Any policy about banning guests for prior incidents?" They reply in 2 minutes. "Hosts update guest count 24 hours prior. No incident reports for your party." Screenshot. Timestamp. My mother finally calls, voice hushed with embarrassment. "Alex, let it go for today. We'll talk after," she says. "Mom, did I do something?" She exhales. "Mara says you threatened to ruin the vibe with a speech." "The speech is just photos and thank yous," I say. "Nothing pointed." Silence stretches. "Please don't come," she whispers. I look at the foam board by my sofa, my handwriting circling Dad's army photo and Grandpa's bakery. I open notes and type a log header. Date, time, sender, claim, source. Then Mara's next message arrived, and it rewrote my entire morning. Growing up, our family solved conflict by burying it under potato salad. Helen, my mother, believed in tone, which meant volume low and feelings lower. Mara learned early that you can win a fight by moderating the room. Who sits where, who speaks when, who gets the last word on the slideshow. I learned to make things pretty, music cues, captions, transitions, so people wouldn't notice the seam lines. Dad used to joke that I was our in-house MC. When he died, I kept the job because someone had to say the names without shaking. The last family gathering should have been easy, Grandma's memorial in April. I submitted a 3-minute speech to Mara in advance, exactly as requested. The night before, she texted, "We're tight on time. Cut yours to 30 seconds. I said okay. On the day, the MC thanked donors, then cut to a sponsorship slide for Mara's community brand, then declared, "Open mic is closed." My words never came. Afterward, she hugged me and said, "Your silence spoke volumes," like it was a gift I'd given her. There were smaller cuts too, the way she rephrased my messages as sharp, then forwarded them. The way Helen begged, "Just be the bigger person," as if taller is safer. Last week, Mara asked for my slideshow files and said she'd consolidate. When I checked the shared drive, the folder name had changed from Mom's Milestone to Helen's Celebration, produced by Mara. In Mara's agenda PDF, beside Alex's toast, she wrote, "If compliant." The word stabbed harder than it should have. So when the banned text arrived this morning, it slotted into a groove she'd been carving for months. Theo, patient as a metronome, called me on audio. "Start your log with yesterday," he said. "Capture the pattern, not just the shock." He reminded me how narratives harden. Repetition, screenshots, reheated phrasing until everyone quotes the same line like scripture. I opened the Notes app and typed April, sponsorship slide, silence spoke volumes, folder rename, if compliant, and the small, hard fact that kept catching in my throat. I have never once been warned for behavior at an event. Not once. Then Theo asked one question that made the kitchen feel colder. "When did the temperature change?" Theo asked. What's the first date you felt managed? I scrolled the export and found it. March 28th, 9:41 p.m. Mara created a subthread titled Program Flow, added me, then switched the chat setting to admins only for 20 minutes while she pinned her agenda. During that blackout, she wrote, "We've had issues with Alex's speeches in the past," and attached nothing. At 10:03 p.m., she reopened posting and tagged me. We're aligned, right? I reacted with a white heavy checkmark because I was raised by checklists. Then came the tone shift. Gentle reminders, protecting our elders, keeping the vibe. All linguistic bubble wrap around a hard message. Obey the gatekeeper. Aunt Nora chimed in with "So proud of you, Mara, for leadership," as if banishing variables is caretaking. Twice, I asked neutral logistics, "What time does slideshow start?" And got, "Please stop making this about you." 2 days ago, she DM'd, "Please confirm you won't reference the March fight." I typed, "We didn't have one," then deleted it and sent, "I won't." The export shows my caution like fingerprints. This morning, 6:58 a.m., Mara posted a message in the main thread. "In light of prior disruptions and Alex's refusal to honor boundaries, we're prioritizing peace." At 7 a.m., she switched, "Only admins can post." At 7:01, she removed me. At 7:02, she sent me the banned text. And at 7:03, Aunt Nora posted 3 heart emojis and necessary. The choreography was clean. Too clean. I called the venue's main line and asked for policies. The assistant, Bree, said, "We don't do bans. The host controls the guest list until 24 hours prior." She book under Mara or Helen? I asked. "Helen," Bree said, typing. "Room 3B, 2 to 5 p.m. No incident notes." I asked if they kept security logs. "Only if security is called," she said. "Nothing for your party." I thanked her, logged the time, 7:36 a.m. A text from an unknown number arrived. "We all remember your outburst." I replied, "When?" They wrote, "You know." I took a breath, saved the number as unknown claim outburst, and marked it green in my log. Unverified assertion, 0 specifics, pressure language. Then Theo called back with 2 words that changed our plan. Theo's 2 words were metadata first. "Screenshots are costumes," he said. "We need the garment's stitching." He walked me through exporting the chat as a zip with media, then the device info panel to capture message send times with time zones. At 7:49 a.m., my phone showed Mara's banned text stamped PDT. "We live on EDT." "Could be nothing," Theo said, "but lies love time zones." He had me airdrop everything to his laptop, then spun up a screen recording to capture our steps. "People claim context," he said. "We'll show context." At 8:02 a.m., Aunt Nora called, voice. "Sweetheart," she began, already wearying, "we just need a calm day. After your last outburst." "What outburst?" I asked. She hesitated. "You know the one," she said, "the same script as the unknown number. Please respect the family's peace." When I asked for specifics, she said, "I'm not getting into this," and hung up. Theo wrote script repetition in the log and added a count tick. By 8:20, I was blocked on the main family chat and the cousin's offshoot. My name disappeared from the shared drive folder. Ownership changed to Mara.org. I still had my local slideshow, but my captions, Dad's dates, were missing online. The new captions were brand slogans and a plug for Mara's community brand. I felt the edges of myself sanded away for someone else's aesthetic. I emailed the venue requesting confirmation that I was on the guest list. Bree responded at 8:37. "We only have the hosts list. We don't add or remove guests. The reservation is under Helen." I forwarded it to Mom with the subject line, "Quick question about guest list." She didn't reply. Instead, Mara texted from a different number, "Do not harass the venue." I replied, "Asking a policy question isn't harassment." She responded, "You're escalating." "Take a breath," Theo said. He scrubbed old voice memos for edits. We found something strange, a voice note in the group archive of me apologizing for heated remarks that I do not remember recording. The waveform looked spliced, 2 abrupt jumps like cuts on tape. I stared at my own voice, saying words I never choose. Then Theo zoomed in and pointed to a seam only liars leave. My mother finally texted, "Call me when you're calm." I called immediately. "Alex," she said, using my name like a caution sign. Please let it go for today. Mara's just trying to avoid drama. I stared at the foam board and tasted metal. Mom, whose name is the reservation under? I asked. Helen, she said, quieter. Mine. So who decided I'm banned? I asked. Silence filled with refrigerator hum. She says there were complaints, Mom said. From who? People don't want to be named, she said, as if secrecy were integrity. I want you to have a good day, I said. That's why I made the slideshow. She softened. I know. You always do the work, she said, and for a second we were two humans on a wire, not actors in Mara's production. Then the wire snapped. Please don't come, she repeated. It will escalate. When she hung up, I pressed my forehead to the cool window and let the sting pass through. Theo arrived with coffee and a portable drive like a medic with a kit. We can beg to be let in, he said, setting the cups down, or we can tell the truth with receipts. He drew a box on my whiteboard, claims on one side, evidence on the other. Under claims he wrote, outburst, threat, ruin the vibe. Under evidence he wrote, no incident report, export logs, time zone mismatch, edited voice memo, venue email, guest list under Helen. Pick the lane, he said. Peace at any price or boundaries with documentation. I wanted to run to the venue and shout. I am not a problem to be managed. But the best stories I've seen, true stories, use small, boring facts like bricks. We listened to the suspect voice note again. At 7 seconds, there was a click. Theo slowed it to 0. 5x. My voice glitches on the word apologize, like a mouth changing shape mid-syllable. Then he found a draft in my email trash, a replied but unsent message from Mara last week suggesting I post a healing statement ahead of today. Attached was a script. I regret my heated remarks in March and will not be speaking today. I never sent it. But in the chat archive, there was an audio acknowledgement from me that sounded like it read that script. And then the venue manager called my phone with unexpected urgency. This is Patel from Lakeside. The voice said, steady and precise. Your mother listed you as a contact on the original inquiry. Are you attending today? My throat did something between laugh and sob. I was told not to, I said. We received an email at 7:31 a.m., Patel continued, stating there was a prior incident with you and requesting security be notified if you arrive. We have no record of such an incident. Who sent the email? I asked. It came from a Gmail with Helen's first name and a .+ numbers, he said. But the original booking is under her work account. Can you show the headers? I asked. I can show the relevant lines in person, he said. We don't forward guest issues, but we keep logs. Theo mouthed go. We met Patel at a coffee shop near the venue. He turned the screen to us. The incident email's display name matched my mother's, but the SMTP path pointed to a different sender, originating IP out of state. The time zone stamp on the email was PDT again. We also checked security, Patel said. No calls regarding your family in the last year. He slid over a printed copy of the venue's incident report form. Blank, he said. We only fill these when something actually happens. I showed him Mara's banned text and the venue's DM. He nodded like a man measuring wood twice. We will not remove someone at another guest's request, he said. Only the host can change the list. That would be your mother. My stomach sank. Mom didn't write that Gmail. Mara did. Or someone did for her, pretending to be Mom. Patel offered to sit for a brief recorded statement on policy. No judgments, he said. Just facts. He read the policy into my camera, crisp and calm. Back home, Theo flagged another tell. A screenshot Mara posted last night showing me refusing to comply. The crop cut off the timestamp and the chat title. The font was from an older OS. The typing indicator showed 3 dots when no one was typing. Composite, Theo said. Or at least suspicious. We recreated the view on my phone and it didn't match. I made another log entry. Cropped screenshot, wrong font, dots without typing, posted 10:13 p.m. Then I opened a clean doc titled Receipts. Mara texted again. Show up and you'll regret it in writing. We went full audit. Theo exported my iMessage threads as zip my WhatsApp as TXT and screen recorded the exports so no one could say we cherry-picked. He pulled the EXIF data from a photo Mara posted last week, supposedly a candid of us reconciling over coffee. The timestamp said 5:42 p.m., The cafe's receipt in my email said I paid at 12:17 p.m. Also, I hadn't seen Mara in 2 weeks. Old photo, new caption, Theo said. Narrative hygiene. We compared call logs. On the night Mara posted the gentle reminder, there were 6 short calls between her and Aunt Nora in 10 minutes, then a 7-minute call to my mother. Mom's call to me after that was 19 seconds. I missed it while counseling a student after hours and texted back, in session, call you later? She never did. They rehearsed the script, Theo said, drawing a crooked triangle on my whiteboard. M, N, H. Under it he wrote, repetition builds reality. I hated how true it looked in dry erase. Patel emailed a short letter on venue letterhead summarizing policy. No bans without host instruction. No record of prior incidents. Any security request must be placed by the host on site. He invited any family member to call him directly for clarification. We added it to receipts and made a shared link set to view only. Theo insisted we record a 2-minute screen capture scrolling through the folder to timestamp its contents. People trust videos they can pause, he said. Also, it keeps us honest. At 11:11 a.m., Mara posted in the cousins chat, Theo is still in that one. FYI, Alex is harassing the venue and trying to crash the event. She attached a cropped screenshot of my DM to the venue without the venue's reply. Theo forwarded it to me with a face with rolling eyes. I replied in our log. Contacted venue once. Policy question. No harassment. Documented. The phone buzzed again. A new number, likely a burner, sent your evidence won't matter if you're not invited. Theo looked at me over the rim of his cup. What outcome do you want? He asked. Truth on the record, I said, and not being treated like a hazard for existing. He nodded. Then we don't storm the door. We set a table. I texted Patel. Can you host a 10-minute sit-down before check-in? Patel replied within 5 minutes. Yes. 1:15 p.m. in Office B. I'll be present. We'll keep it calm. I sent the invite to Helen and Mara with a single line. Brief policy clarification with venue manager before check-in. Helen read it and didn't respond. Mara replied from her generic number. No need. We've moved on. Theo added Helen directly with the venue letter attached. Mom, I typed. No accusations, just clarity so you don't have to manage this alone. At 12:02 p.m., she wrote. I can stop by for 5 minutes. I exhaled so hard my screen fogged. We kept combing. In my iCloud drafts, Theo found a text I never sent. A sorry if anyone felt unsafe, written in a style that wasn't mine, saved at 10:19 p.m. last night. The keyboard language switched to UK English for that one. I use US. Someone wrote a draft on a shared device or tried to deepfake your tone, Theo said. This stuff always leaves crumbs. Then he discovered the original file of the apology voice note in the chat media folder. It wasn't a M4A, it was an MP4 with a single static frame. Who records an audio apology as a video with 1 frame. Someone stitching sound. We opened it in QuickTime and scrubbed the waveform. 2 hard cuts, 7 seconds apart. At second 0, my voice sounds like me. At second 7, it sounds like me imitating me, brighter, faster, the way people talk when they're narrating a memory. The room felt too small. We can show this without accusing, Theo said. We can ask questions like oxygen. I pictured my mother walking into Office B, pressed smile and perfume, already wanting to leave. Keep it short, I said. Facts, not theater. Then the stakes sharpened. Helen texted the cousins chat. Theo forwarded it. Please confirm who is speaking during the tribute segment. Mara answered. I'll handle the tributes. There was a note. Granddad's letter will be read by me. Granddad's letter is the one that names the grandchildren as future stewards of his scholarship fund. Not money now, but the story of money later. And who gets to tell it when elders can't? Control the mic. Control the future, Theo said quietly. This isn't just today. I realized the lie wasn't petty. It was planning tomorrow's authority. We drew the plan on my whiteboard like paramedics sketching a route. Step 1. Finish the receipts folder. Exports, headers, venue letter, screen recorded scroll through, waveform analysis. The MP for masquerading as audio. Step 2. Invite Helen to a brief, quiet sit-down with Patel before check-in. No accusation, only policy and timestamps. Step 3. Present 3 questions, not arguments. Who sent the fake incident email? Why does the apology file contain video metadata? Why was I muted and removed minutes before the ban text? Step 4. Request 2 remedies. Restore my RSVP. Lock tribute order so no one monopolizes granddad's letter. Step 5. If refused, send a respectful, public correction to the family thread with Patel's policy and a link to receipts. Then step back from attendance to prevent a new narrative about scene-making. I stared at the steps like footholds up a wet hill. Private correction first, Theo said. Always try the door before documenting the lock. He coached me on tone. Short sentences. No, you always. No, you never. Use clocks, not adjectives. At 12:40 p.m., I printed a one-page summary with 3 columns. Claim, record, discrepancy. It looked boring and official, which is perfect. Theo rehearsed me. Helen, I love you and want your day to be easy. Here are 3 factual conflicts. We can resolve this now. He set a timer for 90 seconds. Less time than a toast, he said. I wanted to cry from rage and relief, but procedure steadied me. In the cousins chat, Mara dropped, housekeeping. Anyone bringing extra +1s, please DM me. A velvet rope disguised as courtesy. Theo glanced at the clock. We should go, he said. I put the phone board in the trunk. Theo tucked the hard drive into his jacket like a talisman. As we pulled out, a text from Mara arrived. If you ambush Mom with your evidence, we will escalate accordingly. I typed, meeting is with venue manager. Mom asked to stop by, then deleted it, then typed nothing. Silence can be strategy. Outside the venue, balloons bobbed in the heat and a chalkboard sign said private event. Welcome, Helen. I stood on the public sidewalk, not a step near the door, and breathed in the smell of lemon cleaner and catered pasta. The urge to bolt shook my knees. Theo touched my shoulder like a metronome. Receipts, not rage, he murmured. Then Helen's car pulled up, and I saw that Mara was sitting in the passenger seat. Helen got out first, purse clutched like a flotation device. 5 minutes, she said, I skittering anywhere but mine. Mara rounded the car, sunglasses on, smile rehearsed, voice pitched for an audience. We're happy to clear this up. Patel met us at the threshold of Office B, crisp as his letterhead. Thank you for taking a moment, he said. I want your event to run smoothly. He shut the door, clicked the small recorder on his desk, and said, with your permission, I'll record our policy statement to avoid misunderstandings. Helen nodded. Mara said nothing. I slid the one-pager to Helen. Mom, these are 3 conflicts of fact, I said. An email about a prior incident originated from a Gmail not tied to your booking. Our chat contains a file labeled audio that is actually a video with 2 cuts, and the venue has no incident report on record. Patel read his statement. We have no record of any prior disturbance tied to your party. We only remove guests at the host's request on site. He placed his card by the paper. My number is on the bottom. Mara leaned forward, tone syrupy. Alex is obsessed with being right and refuses boundaries, she said. This is harassment. Patel lifted a hand. We are speaking about records, he said, not feelings. Helen stared at the one-pager as if it were radiating heat. I didn't write that Gmail, she said finally, voice small. Mara snapped. I dictated it to Streamline. Helen flinched. Honey, you used my name, she whispered. That's not okay. Mara exhaled through a smile. We needed to avoid drama. I opened the MP4 on Theo's tablet and scrubbed to the glitch. Listen, I said. Mara's mask shifted. Everyone knows tech is messy, she said. We all heard Alex apologize last week. Theo shook his head. There is no sent or posted apology from Alex, he said. Only this composite file labeled audio that is an edited video. He pointed to the header lines. Patel watched like a chess clock. Helen touched the paper with 2 fingers like a relic. I don't want a scene today, she said. I want my mother's letter read and a cake with my name spelled right. Mara straightened. Then keep Alex out, she said, crisp now. Peace first. Helen looked at me, then at Patel, then at the foam board propped against the wall. Is there a way for Alex to come, sit with Theo, and not speak? She asked Patel, as if he controlled my mouth. Patel folded his hands. I can only speak to records, he said gently. Attendance is your decision. Mara's phone buzzed, and her face whitened at the preview line flashing across her screen. The preview read, Venue manager confirms no incident. Please advise. It was from Aunt Nora, forwarding Patel's earlier letter to the whole family thread with a chipper preface. Clarity for all. Mara's composure reset like a stage light. Fine, she said. If Alex must come, Alex sits and does not address the room. Helen sagged with relief she hadn't earned. I breathed once. 2 conditions, I said, voice steady. Restore my RSVP now in the group chat, and lock the tributes to the agreed order. Granddad's letter read by Helen, not Mara. Helen nodded quickly. Of course, she said. Mara's jaw flexed. Patel cleared his throat. I'll step out while you decide, he said, and left the door ajar. Theo slid his phone to Helen. Here is the chat export. Here is the MP for metadata. Here is the venue email header. You can scroll yourself. She scrolled like someone touching ice. Mara's fingers hovered over her phone, then darted. A second later, my screen lit. Mara added you to family celebration. An emoji confetti burst. Welcome back, wrote a cousin who hadn't texted me in months. Then, program update. Tributes by Helen. My lungs filled properly for the first time all day. We agreed I would sit with Theo near the back, present the slideshow on cue, and leave quietly when the program ended. It felt like a compromise and a concession at once. But dignity sometimes walks on narrow beams. We filed out. In the hallway, a server pushing a cart of glassware smiled, oblivious to the tectonic plates beneath our feet. Patel gave me the smallest nod. You did the paperwork. At 1:58 p.m., we took our seats. The room smelled like frosting and eucalyptus centerpiece. Helen's friends clapped her in, cameras out. Mara took the mic. Welcome to Celebrating Helen, she beamed. I felt Theo's knee steady against mine. 2 minutes in, the music cued, Patel dimmed lights. I walked the foam board to the front and rested it on the easel. And then the program veered. Mara said, before tributes, a quick housekeeping note, and her voice slid into its favorite register. For everyone's peace, we've asked a guest to refrain from. Theo stood up so fast his chair barked. Patel appeared like a stagehand with perfect timing. Housekeeping from the venue, he said into the mic, calm as a weather report. We do not make announcements about guests. We honor the host's program and the host's guest list. Thank you. He handed the mic to Helen, who blinked like a deer catching new light. She swallowed and smiled at the room. Thank you, everyone, she said, voice trembling only once. I'm grateful for each of you. She glanced at me, almost imperceptibly, then read Granddad's letter, his ink translating through her voice, steady and warm. We played the slideshow. Faces glowed in candlelight and on screen. People laughed at Dad's ridiculous mustache phase. Someone cried at the clip of Grandma humming while kneading dough. When the applause faded, Mara, determined, reclaimed the mic, a gentle reminder, she began, that our family values peace. Theo stepped into her line of sight and raised 2 fingers. I tapped the tablet. On screen, the word receipts appeared. Then the short screen recording of the folder scroll-through played for 12 silent seconds. No narration, just neutral proof. Patel had okayed it as guest content under the host's revised program, which now read slideshow and archival montage. Mara sputtered, "This is inappropriate," but her voice lost altitude. A cousin whispered, "So there was no incident?" Aunt Nora looked like she wanted a different seat in a different life. Helen touched the mic again. "Clarity helps me relax," she said. "Please enjoy the cake." The room exhaled. If this were a movie, the credits would roll. Real life is messy, eh? My phone buzzed, a text from Mara's generic number. "You will regret humiliating me." I logged it without flinching. In the corridor after cake, Helen hugged me hard. "Thank you for not making a scene," she said, and I almost laughed at the way survival gets reframed as decorum. Theo downloaded the recording of Patel's policy statement to his second drive. Mara brushed past, perfume a wall, and hissed, "Brand partners were here." I blinked. "What?" She flushed. "Never mind." And there it was, the why. A community brand deal hooked to the optics of a perfect family event. No conflict, a single voice guiding the vibe and collecting the credit. Patel stepped from his doorway with a small envelope for Helen marked host copy, policy clarification. The fallout began before the plates were cleared. In the family thread, Aunt Nora posted, "Appreciate the clarity. Apologies for any miscommunication." 10 seconds later, she DM'd me privately. "Mara meant well." I typed, "Well isn't a method, then deleted it and sent a thumbs up I didn't mean. Two cousins texted apologies that sounded like they were reading from a community guideline. We value your presence. Thank you for your contributions. I saved them in a folder called Sunny Weather. Experience says sunny weather forgets storms until the next cloud. Mara, thwarted in public, went busy in private. A burner account with 3 followers posted a cropped clip of me standing to adjust the projector and captioned it, "Aggressive Confrontation." Theo flagged it and filed a takedown for deceptive editing, attaching Patel's policy recording and the full video. My workplace email pinged with an anonymous complaint that I harassed Venus. HR flagged it as likely retaliatory and documented my note ahead of time. Good procedure can be a life vest when waves splash on strange shores. That night Helen called. "I'm sorry," she said without preface, small and real. I was afraid of a scene and became one by proxy. She took a breath. I shouldn't have let Mara use my name. I leaned against my sink and let the kindness land. "Thank you," I said. "We need ground rules." She surprised me by saying, "Let's write them." We opened a shared doc and typed a first draft. No one speaks for the host without explicit written consent. Program changes are posted 24 hours in advance. No screenshots without timestamps. No edited apology files in any format ever. We shared it with the thread. Nora hearted it. 3 cousins went quiet. Theo texted one more receipt. A screenshot of Mara's brand partner email leaked by a cousin who was on the CC. It promised conflict-free footage and curated messaging, plus a family leadership feature on Mara's platform. Control wasn't an accident. It was a deliverable. We didn't blast it. We saved it in the log. Not every truth needs a stage to end an act. I fell asleep with my phone on Do Not Disturb and woke to 12 new messages and 1 unexpected voicemail from a withheld number. The voicemail was brief, recorded in a car. "We overreached," Mara said, voice finally human. The partner pulled. "You win." It wasn't an apology, it was a scoreboard. I didn't respond. We kept building the thing that might make apologies unnecessary. Boundaries that work even when people don't. Helen scheduled a therapist who specializes in family systems. She and I did a session, then invited Theo for one that focused on tech boundaries. We diagrammed where messages become megaphones and how to keep receipts without weaponizing them. We wrote a simple family comms charter and asked for opt-in. Some did. Some posted a folded hands and vanished. We changed logistics. Program docs live in a shared folder with version history. Tribute speakers confirm on camera the day before. Any policy, emails must come from the host's verified address, not a lookalike Gmail. The venue agreed to keep Patel's host copy, policy clarification, on file for our surname for a year. Theo trained Helen on spotting forged headers and faked screenshots, how fonts betray liars, how time zones tell on a story. The learning made her stand straighter. We made new rituals, smaller dinners with no mics, quiet tea with photo albums, sunset walks that require only comfortable shoes and a sweater. I brought the phone board to Mom's the next evening, and we re-watched the slideshow on her TV, pausing to name faces and tell the stories that don't fit a stage. She touched Granddad's letter with 2 fingers like a blessing. There's grief too. I blocked 2 burners and muted 3 cousins who only speak in reminders. It feels like losing a language I never liked. I kept one door ajar, a monthly check-in thread with anyone who opted in to the charter, moderated by me and Theo, in alternating months. The first message was plain. We tell the truth with boring receipts, and we don't weaponize peace. On my nightstand, I placed the one-pager from Office be like a lighthouse map folded and kept. Then my phone buzzed with a message from Mara that wasn't a threat. "Can we meet without cameras?" she wrote. "I won't let you record." I stared at the sentence that wanted trust while stripping safeguards. "We can meet with a neutral," I typed back, "Patel or the therapist office." She left it on read. Maybe later. Maybe never. I don't need her to confess for my life to resume its true size. The point wasn't winning a gate. It was naming I'm not a hazard to be managed. If you're listening and your family solves conflict with potato salad and removal, here's what helped. Clocks, not adjectives. Export. Don't explain. Ask the venue for their policy. Say records when they say feelings like a fog. If someone drafts your apology for you, decline the costume and show the stitch. Decide if today needs attendance or clarity. Sometimes the bravest thing is showing your work and going home. And if you do go by choice, not ban, a boundary you hold in your own name. I keep the slideshow file under Family, True, with version history on. I labeled the receipts folder for rainy days, because storms do come, and paper beats thunder. Helen texts me photos of leftovers, of candle stubs, of her smile softer than the party version. We made tea after the mess, and it tasted like something we might keep making. Before sleep, I replay Patel's sentence in my head, the one that sounded like a coach whistle. We are speaking about records, not feelings. It didn't erase the ache, but it kept the road painted when someone tried to drive me off it. I'm not banned from my family. I'm banned from bending to a lie about who I am. That's a sign I can live behind, and a porch I can still stand on. I turn off the lamp, and the room returns to ordinary, which is perfect tonight. Tomorrow, I'll archive the logs and send Mom the charter's first gentle reminder.